I don't think I'll get any echo. So I think we're live. This is Every Second Matters for August of 2015, and got a couple of people jumping in on the second. We try to talk about the Second Amendment and issues pertaining to it, I suppose. So I guess I'll introduce everybody that's in here now. We've got 10 seats available. There's a couple of seats open. Lots of links are out, and we'll throw a link out for people over on the chat watching live after a little bit here if nobody else jumps in. So just to say hey to the people who are joining us at the moment, from my left to my right, we got Ballistic Expansion joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Try to talk about the Second Amendment and issues between.
Oh, you're near Lake Wobegon.
All right, since we have BE, this is Foose down here in Arkansas. Yankee.
There we go. Thanks.
I guess Yankees away. Island.
Aloha from the island of Maui.
All right, so Every Second Matters is basically just an awareness campaign. The idea came up with a long time ago. We do these chats. I'm sure anybody that's watching this is going to be familiar with it, but just in case someone's stumbling across this one for the first time, we do some live chats in the evenings on YouTube, and lots of different people have jumped into those over the years. And at some point, I think around the end of 2013, or in the middle of 2013, we came up with an idea of doing something. I think it was for the people in New York. Like something had happened in New York, and we were over here, well, just on the internet all across the country, and thinking about what we could do to show solidarity, I guess, or awareness for those issues that might be Second Amendment related, but not immediate to our location or brought to the forefront by whatever event. So I think we started out with some ideas like open holsters, and then that kind of got turned into wearing some kind of a shirt or something, and then that kind of, over the course of a few of these conversations, turned into a logo that would be something that would strike up a conversation, perhaps something that wasn't completely apparent, but once you understood it, made a little sense, and was different enough from other things that, like I say, it might start a conversation. So everybody kind of...
A logo like this?
Yep. Everybody threw out ideas, and that's when everybody came up with Every Second Matters. Being a bunch of internet people, we got all the different social medias and things, accounts, and so we found a name that would work with all those different accounts, is what I should say. And just to tie it all together, we meet up on the second day of every month, like we're doing right now, and we talk about Second Amendment issues. Now, I guess we've been doing this for a while, so it's kind of gone back and forth. I would like to get it a little more organized, but I hesitate to try to create yet another pro-gun, pro-freedom organization. We're not trying to create a membership list. It's bad enough that we got to make these patches. They cost something to make. I wish somebody would do a patch-on-demand system like you can with T-shirts, where the T-shirts, if you want to get a T-shirt, you just go to the Spreadshirt. We can just set that thing up so that when someone asks for a shirt, it gets made and shipped to them, and that's no muss, no fuss. But with the patches and stickers and other things that are sometimes a little easier to deal with and have available all the time, like if you're going to put something on your bag or on your cubicle at work or wherever it happens to be, it's easier than wearing a T-shirt just once in a while. So having those made up is sort of a pain. So that's about as much I'm trying to say infrastructure as I ever wanted to get into this, and nobody else seems to have stuck around except for Yankees in here, and he's not much into building infrastructure either. So where you definitely don't want to have any kind of hierarchy or membership system or presidents or councils or anything that help direct things, but at the same time, I think it would be beneficial if this thing did something more than just gathered and bullshitted. So I don't know, maybe tonight we can think about what things, or maybe what's another strategy we could use to kind of loosely be organized or loosely go in a direction. I think the elections coming up here could be something that gives us some direction. What do y'all think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the election coming up, that could definitely give us a little bit of traction.
But don't you think that some of the candidates are going to try and stay away from the issue to some degree, just to hedge their bet?
That's fine, but the whole idea is that people that are advocates for the second don't, we're not fed whatever they tell us, so it's all about us going out and rooting it out. We're going to get things like the NRA's whatever list, and then we're going to get other people's lists, but it'll be up to us to just decipher those lists and see what agendas there might be, and then come up with, maybe people's positions or their histories or something like that, and discuss it so that, I don't know, most of us are, speak for myself, I guess, but a lot of us seem to be one-issue voters. So when it comes time to make those decisions, we've talked about it a bit, or at least we've gotten some stuff down.
And I'm with you. I'm one issue voter. I had a conversation with my boss. He's basically a complete 180 degree for me on a lot of topics, and he's not a one issue voter. He's like, if something, if someone is 90% of what you believe, and if that, he'll still vote on it, even on that 10% is totally against his morals and what he stands for. He'll still vote for him, and I told him I won't. So, definitely one issue.
And I know we've used Instagram a lot to our advantage for gun channels, so I think we could definitely promote Everything Matters a little bit more through that. Maybe not necessarily making an account, because that might be more work and, like you said, more infrastructure to deal with, but it could definitely be used to our advantage, as we've already experienced with the gun channels account.
That's a great point. In fact, when I was just starting everything up here, I was looking through, whenever we first built it, we did everysecondmatters.us, and I don't know why we did that and not .com, because .com's just sitting there. So I rebuilt everything on .com, and as I was kind of looking through to make sure everything was good to go for today's chat, I was looking at the different social media accounts, and we do have them set up on Instagram already, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, I guess you could say over on iTunes and on Stitcher Radio, and then things like Gun Channels and Gun Chat, where we host those podcasts and do the chats and stuff. So we have all these accounts out there, and I did go through them, but the Instagram one, it's got like 2 pictures on it. The Twitter one has like 5 tweets or something. So even the YouTube account really just has these videos. So they're not huge accounts, like you say. It's not like we have anything to say, so there's not much, it's not like we're going to produce videos or anything on it, or even produce pictures, except more than maybe we could repost, like what Marco's doing with Gun Channels, but I don't think we need another reposter out there just for the patches. I think we can get some mileage, like what you're saying, though, on the Instagram, with just people using hashtag #EverySecondMatters. That's what hashtags are all about, right?
Right.
So definitely a lot of patches and shirts out there, and we could just do one of those, like tag somebody, and whenever we feel like it, whenever you see the patch or something, tag some people, show their patch, or stop and take a selfie of your Every Second Matters patch or something.
Right, because we've already got the patches out there. I think we did a pretty good job of that.
Yeah.
So, Rag Veteran, he has one, and a couple other big channels, like you and Yankee, for example, have one, obviously, and so there's definitely some bigger guys out there that have the patch to show off.
But that's kind of neat, because we built this thing way before Instagram was even built, so even invented, even thought of. So it's kind of cool that now we can play around with the hashtag thing.
I actually did open carry today, and then I'm going to wear my Every Second Matters shirt to the gym here in a little bit.
Right on. Is anybody wearing theirs right now? Did you
Yeah,
we all get the same brand of shirt? It's a Gildan.
Yeah, I think so. Let me check the tag.
It's a pretty decent shirt. I was
Mine
just
was
wearing it
spreadshirt,
thinking, damn, I've been wearing this thing for a while, and it's not too. I mean, I don't wear it every day though, so it's not all stretched out though.
I've worn mine a lot, and I was surprised how well the colors held up.
Well, those Gildan, that's better than like a Hanes heavy
guess
tee
so.
or anything
I don't
like
think
that. No,
mine's Gildan.
really,
Like, I bought it before. Like, it was the one that has a little heart on the sleeve. They don't all have that anymore, do they?
This doesn't.
Yeah, see, I got one it's Spreadshirt brand. It actually says on the tag, it says Spreadshirt, and it has another tag below that.
Oh, like Spreadshirt puts one on there extra?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
not gilded, but it's really good quality. I like it. It's
Well,
not
it
really
sounds like
it's not really heavy either. It's kind of it's breathable. I like it.
you guys said you wore yours around, and people are saying in the chat that they wore them today. I wore mine, but I didn't go anywhere. So did you? Anybody say anything about it? Did it work? Did it get any conversations going? Did it win any people over in the Second Amendment issues?
I'm wearing mine, but I didn't go anywhere today with it either.
Ideally,
Yeah.
somebody will wear one in front of the White House. Obama will be out there cutting lawn or whatever, or
Like, what is that?
trees. Hey, what's that? Can you come over here, citizen? Tell me what's on that shirt. And you can tell him, and he'd be like, "I'm changing my position on that," because he's all wishy-washy. And he'd be all like, "I'm gonna appeal the ATF this afternoon."
What a beautiful day it would turn into.
It would all be worthwhile if that simple result, right?
I don't know, it depends what it all entails.
We're gonna send Marco on that mission. He's close to DC.
I noticed he was on a boat full of millionaires today, according to his Instagram. So I'm wondering if he had some sort of a Every Second Matters logo, maybe on a cufflink or something. A
Are
monocle.
you talking about the picture with him where his feet were propped up?
No, that picture was racist.
Oh yeah, it was.
Well, there's a bit of a lag, so if anybody in the chat is hearing us ask about if anybody mentioned your logo or mentioned anything today when you're out wearing it, feel free to cite the thing.
But
I'm gonna go
I
ahead.
did get the word out at a match, a local match, like a couple weeks ago. It was actually last month, technically, I guess, but it was after the last second chat, so it falls into this one. And I was talking to one of the guys I shoot with, and I've shot with him a good bit. And I was like, yeah, I was talking about, we were talking about something, shooting, and somehow it led to me saying, oh yeah, we've talked about that a lot in our chats. I said something like that. He's like, what's that? What do you mean chats? I'm like, oh, we do podcasts. And he, you guys probably don't know his name, but Ben Steger, he does a practical shooting podcast. So a lot of the people who shoot competition are kind of familiar, at least with the podcast format. And I told him, like, yeah, we do podcasts and stuff. And I was like, let me give you a card. And I was going to give him an Every Second Matters card. And I freaking didn't have it in my wallet, but I did have a gun websites card. And I was like, well, this is the guy who built the Gun Channels website, and this is his YouTube account. I was like, yeah, just Google gunchannels.com. That's what I told him pretty much, and make an account. So I don't know if he's done that yet or not, but I definitely got a card in his hand, so that was kind of cool.
Well, speaking of that, do we have the cards? And I try to throw them out whenever somebody buys a patch or whatever, and I try to leave them in the gun shops and stuff. I just got a bunch of new ones printed, and then we've got the, whatever you call it, like a PDF or whatever of the image. So anybody that wants to make them, they usually cost me about $30. I try to make them whenever I'm doing business cards or I'm doing a printing job. It's one of those things where if the more you buy, you usually get a bigger discount or freer shipping or something.
$30 per 1,000 or 100?
Oh no, it's like 1,000 or something like that.
I thought it was like 500, I thought, but
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not too bad when you're, like you say, when you start buying a couple of runs at a time. I buy other stuff, but whenever I do, I include them, and it's not too bad. I'm sure that it's going to be a little bit more if you take it to like the local Kinko's or whatever they're called now.
Mm-hmm.
Printing. But anybody that wants to, feel free. And then, I don't know, I guess the idea is just to let people know about the concept. But if somebody's got an idea for something else, let us know, because it's all about the conversation, and something works, we could add it, or we could, just because these things we put together in 2013, they're not set in stone.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for a day when no one's in the office, and I'll print up a whole bunch of them. They'll be regular paper, but I can print double-sided and then just like cut them out.
And then just take all of them and make a gun, like an outline of a gun on like the office wall, like the biggest office wall in the building that everybody walks by. It'd be perfect. That might take a little
it
while.
might be a bad idea. I don't know. It could be a good idea.
Depends on what kind of office you work at, I guess.
Yeah, most of my office is, average gun guy type people, actually. there's only one that I get to argue with just about every day about it.
Is it liberal, like anti-gun, or just like on the fence, or?
Nah, he's one of these. I agree with the Second Amendment, but
I agree
Yeah.
with the Second Amendment for hunting.
right. Or why do you need an AR? All that kind of crap. So it's kind of annoying, but I enjoy debating and arguing. So it passes the time when I'm bored at work.
Do you ever wonder if back when they only had smoothbore muskets and like the rifled bore musket came out, there was somebody being like, "Why do you need that? Why do you need a rifled bore musket? That's not part of the Second Amendment."
I don't know. That'd be
Or when
interesting
the
to find out.
Henry Repeater came out, or the Winchester, it was like, "Why do you need that assault rifle?"
That's actually a really interesting question. Were there anti-gun people all the way back then?
Well,
And if not, when did it start?
I wonder if that argument was ever leveled during a big shift in technology. Technology. We're kind of going through that right now. It's not a big shift, but the AR-15 is becoming more prominent. And over the last 50 years, semi-automatic firearms have become more prominent in civilian use. I wonder if there was ever a shift in civilian use where this kind of argument from people that maybe have different views. If I wonder if this argument's ever happened before in history.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think I'm going to try and research that, find old, newspaper articles or something. I'll report back if I find anything.
I bet if it did happen anywhere, it would have been like during the transition between black powder and cartridged firearms. I bet that would be the most likely place you'd probably
It
see.
seems like, from my research into it, they started in New York. The first firearms laws in the country, if you don't count the Second Amendment, is the firearms laws in New York, the city, or whatever it was called back then, New Amsterdam, I guess. And they have to do with population more than tech. But I'm not scholarly in it. I've just looked up when the first firearms laws were or something before, and that's the one that the internet points
A lot of the first ones were ones that were in the South, actually, almost immediately after the Civil War, but they were geared mainly at keeping guns out of the hands of blacks.
Yep, KKK was pushing gun laws.
There were towns that famously there were towns where you had to, if you were coming into the town, you had to check your firearms with the sheriff or whatever.
Exactly.
I think it was
How
back in
many
the
of those
days,
were
right?
written
Well, which was during that time, I guess.
How many of those were written down, and how many of those were just a sign hung on the sheriff's porch or whatever?
Yeah, those laws were common, in what people refer to as the Wild West. What people think of as the Wild West didn't really exist in real life, because you didn't carry your gun openly inside of a township, etc. If the sheriff saw you, he'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" and take your gun.
Well, it would be interesting to have somebody who's learned in the Old West and stuff, because there's a lot of what do they call those, dime store, whatever they called them back in the day. The novelists would come out here and embellish quite a bit, so there are quite a bit of crazy stories, and then there's people that have researched the real deal. Maybe need to have one of those people on sometime to talk about historic gun control laws.
I don't know anybody like that. That'd be cool. It'd be interesting, at least.
Most I know about the Old West came from those books they sold us. They're on TBS during Space Giants and stuff. So ornery, shot a man.
Just for snoring. Who was that? Who shot a man?
John Wesley Hardin.
Yep.
They were my grandpa's Time Life Old West series or whatever.
He was so ornery, he shot a man just for snoring too loud.
Yep.
Looking it
I
up
know
on-
most about that commercial.
So I just
So
found
we probably should have a section of these shows, and I apologize for not doing. Like I say, we don't have a lot of structure, but we did talk about. We usually talked a little bit about what we did this month or today. So did anybody do anything this month to further the second?
Yes, I also did well, and in addition to handing out the business card, talking to that guy at the match, I helped a new shooter pretty much. I think he's going to be hooked now to shooting. This is a guy we had known for a while. He works with my dad, and he was one of our fishing friends. Anyways, when we were on one of our fishing trips, he was kind of, I was telling him about all the carry stuff, and he's asking some questions and things like that. And I guess I piqued his interest because a few weeks later, he was asking me what kind of gun to look for to buy, and he ended up getting a SIG 226. And then I invited him over, and I told him anytime he wants to come over and train, he's welcome to. And he came over, and I let him through a lot of pointers and stuff on how to shoot. He shot about 200 rounds, and definitely improved his shooting skills and everything like that. So that was kind of cool. I really enjoyed that a lot. And maybe I'll get him into shooting competitively. Who knows?
Got somebody kind of back into shooting a little bit. The person's lived here for a few years from the mainland, shot on the mainland, didn't shoot much here, and now he likes shooting clays up at this one place that's open a couple of days a week.
Before I forget, I want to add to that guy that I was helping out, he actually went and got his carry permit too. So he should have it by now. So that's pretty cool as well. He got another carrier out of it, another concealed carrier.
This wasn't really me, but my buddy's a manager at a restaurant, and he saw a guy open carrying sometime last week, and he came up and talked to him about it. It was, hey, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of gun is that, blah, blah, blah. And apparently this guy is one of the founders of Michigan Open Carry, and they were having a big luncheon over the weekend and asked if they could have it there at that restaurant. So apparently like 40-some people went out and had lunch and open carried. So.
And there wasn't any type of extra media coverage or anything like that?
I'm not sure about the media. I know there wasn't any killings, which is surprising, obviously, right?
But they do those here in Tucson area. They do them a couple of places where they'll have open carry meetups or things, and they rarely get any kind of coverage except for the group themselves, usually posting pictures and stuff. But there's quite a few Facebook groups where they'll organize those and, like, say, post pictures during and after the events. But they're not going to cover them since nothing happens, right? They're only going to cover it if something bad happens. Or
if mayhem ensues.
But that's an awesome story.
It's nice that there's still businesses out there willing to work with us,
Yeah, just kind of cool curiosity, interest, and turned into some money for them. So, right on for that business.
Yeah, and I guess his store manager, she doesn't really like guns, and they always, talk about it. So when he told her that, he goes, oh, by the way, you're going to get a call tomorrow asking for, a 40-person table, and it's all because of guns. And she goes, well, I like money. So maybe she'll come around to liking guns now as well.
Well, maybe that's part of it then. Maybe that just has to be shown in a different light, perhaps.
Well, that's something else is, usually if you could spend money on guns and be an advocate and everything, you're going to have a little bit of change to go ahead and toss around to businesses that are like-minded as us. So it helps them out too.
Now, keeping on that same vein, there's an app out there, the 2A Friendly app. I don't know if we've talked about it before, I'm sure, but is anybody using that? And if anybody in that area for that store, they might want to, that uses it, they might want to add that store to the 2A Friendly. That way, when it's not just an organized event that's meeting up, but just somebody wants to go spend their money with pro Second Amendment people, they're aware of that location.
I've never heard of that app before. I'll have to look it up.
I got
I know I found one that lists gun-free zones. It shows up on the map, but I haven't seen it the other way as being positive gun places.
Yeah, this is called Pro 2A, and you can get it for free. And I think there's ads, and then you pay, I don't know, it was $3 or something, and you get the ads taken off. And I'm pretty sure it's for both, but I have an Android. It's called PRO Pro and number 2 and an A, and it's kind of green and gold if I remember right.
Yeah, it was. There's one out there for the iPhone. I know I had it, but I actually reset my phone recently, so I'll go there and get it.
You know, that's something that maybe we could do. I don't know if we'll do that on Every Second Matters, but we'll definitely do it on the gun channels because it's a little less. I don't know how. Well, I don't know if what do you guys think, but basically a list of some of the. I guess we call them apps, but some of the tools, let's call them, that are available for phones or maybe for laptops or for GPSs even, that, like car GPSs or something that would list stuff that's important, gun shops, ranges, and like this, restaurants and things that are Pro 2A. And that way we can't list every place, but we can list the apps that let people find those places and then let people review those apps and give some feedback and whatnot. So when there's choices to make, we get some feedback from people that have used them.
I've used the 2A friendly one, I think. So what the one you're talking about, right? One of them. And I don't know if I still have it or not, but in my area, it just seems like that there's not a lot of controversy over it. I guess not as much. And you can pretty much carry anywhere you want to in Georgia for the most part, as long as it's like posted or whatever and all that. So I really didn't find anything that was on the app that was one way or the other, because no one, I guess, was really using it much in the area. But I mean, I guess it would definitely be a lot more active if you went somewhere, in a state where it was kind of wishy-washy as far as people who were supporting carry.
Well, I mean, that app is only as good as the people actually updating it. So
Right.
if there's not a lot of people that don't realize it, they're not going to know that it's out there to keep it updated.
So I got some news about that Navy lieutenant commander that shot at that gentleman, that person who shot up the Marine recruiters, the Navy, whatever the Navy. I don't know what Navy's facility it was, but you know what I'm talking about.
In Chattanooga.
Yes, Chattanooga.
Yeah, Chattanooga, thank you. And there was rumors going around that the Navy was planning on charging him for discharging a firearm that he wasn't supposed to have on a federal facility. I guess it came out today that that's not necessarily, it's not true as
Good.
of now. The Navy,
Good.
the Navy says they don't have they've denied they're seeking any kind of criminal charges or I don't think they're going to reprimand him. I have a link right here, but that's good news. It's good news because during all that coverage and when we were talking about it, they never brought in the fact in the news cycle that a Navy officer, or apparently there may also have been a Marine that had a pistol who was killed. They never brought that up in any of the coverage, but apparently there were people shooting back at that guy.
I'm glad there was people returning fire.
But apparently the rumor was I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before that the Navy was planning on criminally charging him.
Yeah, and I did find it on iPhone. It is 2A friendly.
Is there any eyewitness accounts yet, or descriptions of the incident to know if the return fire that he was getting caused him to leave?
I don't know. The only thing I found was that one of the Marines killed supposedly had a privately owned pistol on him that it's all really like everything I've read because I've been trying to figure out if this this thing about the charges were true, and the only thing I found is that that he returned. They didn't say how it affected the shooter, but he returned fire on him, and so did apparently a Marine. So there's not a lot out there. In fact, it took me forever digging to find the fact that they're not charging him. It's easier to find the stories about them supposedly charging him than it is about them not. I'm trying to find the article that said about. Yeah, here it is, right here. I guess I could put this in the.
All right, well, there's some dead air. I'm going to take a minute to mention that we did post the last of the pink and green Second Matters patches that we did as a limited run earlier this year. We took the last of those and posted them for sale, so they're up on where they are, gear websites and up on eBay. And then, of course, we got the glow-in-the-dark ones last month. So anybody that's interested in a patch, we have the regular sound type or a PVC style with the glow-in-the-dark writing, which are kind of neat.
Those glow-in-the-dark ones are awesome. I'm really liking mine.
They're kind of neat when you put them in the headliner.
It helps me find my car at night in a parking lot. Just look for the little glow.
Well, we're not getting a lot of chatter on the chats on either side, and I'll just throw it out there. You know, there'll be a bit of a lag, so anybody that's out listening live, if you want to throw anything else out there, I think we'll just go left to right to kind of wrap up tonight, and everybody can mention the nonprofit or the pro-freedom group that's worth mentioning this month. So, Ballistic, you're first from on my left.
I'm not sure if they're a nonprofit or not, but I'll just say, obviously, from my state, GeorgiaCarry.org.
Right on. Good choice. Yankee, you still with us? He's not muted, so I can't tell. But I'm not hearing anything. So we'll go to Z. Want to throw one out there?
All right.
Maybe he's still gone, so that'll take us to Foos.
I'm not down in Florida. Florida Carry always seems to be doing a lot of good stuff down there.
Right on, and it adds to our knowledge because we know the guys, so we know they're not just partying with the money or anything.
And if you're wanting to set up trusts, definitely go to them and sign up. You get a trust for $100.
Yeah, full year membership, right, and $100 worth of trust for that $100.
Yeah, definitely, it's worth it just for that.
PBR.
I don't really have anything.
Lame.
Well, you know what? I'll come over there and.
Crowstill, you got one?
So I don't understand the question exactly or what the deal is.
Just throwing out a pro-gun organization, so people might not be aware of something. They hear about it.
Name a program organization you like. That's maybe not what it's well known.
GOCRA, Gun Owners Civil Rights Alliance. They have been on the tip of the spear in my state as far as anything Second Amendment is concerned.
Who? I've never heard of these people.
Gun Owners Civil Rights Alliance. They're pretty much Minnesota local, from what I understand, but the head person has spoke at every rally. He's been at every hearing. He's pretty much the tip of the spear up here, along with Minnesota Gun Rights, who actually just opened another chapter in Iowa. So.
I'm gonna double
Say
check.
you don't have any, and then you pick two.
No, that's great. So I'm gonna see if we've got it in our list. It doesn't ring a bell for me. So
Put a link in the side there.
Probably won't. Yeah, there it is, GOCRA. They're awesome.
Concealed Carry Reform, and we have Minnesota Gun Owners Civil Rights Alliance. I guess we do have them in here already. But you said there was another Minnesota Concealed Carry?
Actually, wait, it's not. It's called. Oh, I gotta think of it. It's not Nagger. I don't think
We
so.
have Minnesota Concealed Carry Reform. Is that it?
No, it ain't that.
Okay, so then if you would, throw me the link, and then I'll add it to the Minnesota link. But we tried to list all the pro-rights, pro-freedom, pro-gun organizations over there on EverySecondMatters.com. So
All right.
we already have that Civil Rights Alliance. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So that's
GoPro is
an actual, kudos from someone who's in Minnesota that knows about it. So, because I just grabbed those, doing web searches, I just grabbed any pro-gun organization I could find. So I'm glad to hear they're good.
Yeah, GoPro is probably the best up here, as far as what they actually do and what they say they're going to do. Yeah.
I kind of like the state level ones myself. Smeggy, what do you got?
I'm going to go with MichiganCarry.org. Oops. They apparently go to restaurants around here, so I don't know a lot about them. I don't know if they work on laws and stuff, but anytime you get people in public not shooting each other, I think that's good for us.
Right on. And I think we've got them. We've got Michigan Open Carry. I think that's the same one.
Yeah, that could be it. Let's go with that.
Okay. But I guess let me ask you, if you don't mind, I'll give you the link right here. If you don't mind, check it out. And if it does turn out that you're thinking of a different one, let me know, so I'll just add the one you're thinking of to the list. Mr. Knives from the YouTube side says calguns.net. Obviously, big time pro-gun for like pretty much the entire time of the internet. So definitely kudos to them. Nothing on the YouTube or on the gun channel side. So we'll jump back. I guess that was everybody.
No, it was Minnesota Gun Rights that I was thinking of.
Why
Yep.
don't you count that? You just didn't have one, but now you're putting up links. So what's this link you're putting up? PBR.
It's just a petition to get the White House to recognize the heroism of those Marines and that Navy commander that fought back during that Chattanooga shooting. We're talking about gun rights, and I think having this kind of thing in the media that people actually did fight back and did try to defend themselves and others is important. It's important to get that out there to see, raise awareness. But what better way to raise awareness than to point this out to the general public? That's all. I mean, I don't know if these change.org petitions, do much, but they're almost all the way there.
Well, good.
Is this the one I just did? Wait, hold on. This is the wrong one. Shit.
All right. Well, we'll put the links in the description of the video, and we'll say that's about it for this month. Like I say, it's just a loose discussion. We get together, we talk about the Second Amendment so that it's fresh in everyone's minds. We have the logo so that we can do what we will with it, and I like to just have it out there on stuff, on my range bag or my what do you call it, messenger bag or whatever, and then if someone asks a question, always figure out if it's a good time to have a discussion or not. We just got some good stories tonight about ways that was positive. So if we have negative stories, let's hear them too, so that other people can avoid stepping in puddles or whatever. But we will have another one of these in about a month from now, and sometimes we have them on the 15th of the month, so stay tuned for that. If you're interested, if there's something coming up or something you think it's worth ringing the bell for, this is a public bell, so doesn't cost anything to set one of these things up. So if it's getting to be towards the middle of the month and you think there's something that's not worth waiting until, or that it's more important than waiting until the next time around, let somebody know, and we will run another one of these. Call it the 15th of the month, or every 15th matters. But thanks again for everybody joining us live, and everybody that is joining us out in the YouTube or the Gun Channel side, and we'll see you in about a month.
All right, take it easy.
See ya.